So hello, we're going to start by staining the back side of the 16 by 20 wood panel from Dollar Store. They're the ones, it's the same as the canvas, except of course it's got the wood backing instead. We use chocolate stain. Once we've got all the stain on, I took a cloth and I quickly removed it all. And it was pretty, I was really quite happy with how much of the wood grain showed. In the video, you don't see me doing the ends, but I do that off camera. Next, we're going to start with the template. I did the first part ahead of time. What you do is you take the template that you see there, print it out. You're going to put it down on the dry backdrop, and you're going to chalk line all the way around the outside first. Then starting at the bottom towards the top, we're going to add our book pages using the chalk as a guide and the template to tell us where to cut. I hope that makes sense. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second when we actually get to it. So I've put in the book page down, making sure it's over top of the outer edge of the chalk. Okay, now I'm taking a pencil and I'm going to trace around it. Okay, once it comes like that, you'll see me take the template off after it's all traced. See the outline on the page, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll cut that out. I sped this up a little bit to make the video shorter because it's kind of boring, I know. But I was very meticulous and careful when I did the cutting. Now I'm going to use the chalk line to show me the placement of the cutout book page. Now that I've got that done, I can go ahead and take a damp cloth, get rid of the chalk marks, because obviously I already know where the outside of this particular piece is going to be. And I can use it as a guide. And I'll trim off the bottom because I didn't want there to be a lot of overlap between the pages. Next, I'll add a thin layer of Mod Podge, just where the book's close to about where the book will be. Being careful, trying not to go over the lines too much. This Mod Podge is matte finish, but I don't trust it not to show up on the dark background. If it does a little bit, I don't think it's going to matter, but I really don't want any shine showing up, so it's easier to just not have any there to begin with. There, that piece is done. Now we'll continue our way up. We'll go ahead and do the other side. There I am wiping off the Mod Podge. I worked from the bottom towards the top, and then I did the outside of the silhouette first before I did the middle. That choice, however you do it, the choice is yours, but that's the path that I took. Now I'm going to do the same thing as I did the last time. I'm going to put the template over the page, trace it, and cut the page out. Now if you look at the bottom right here, I have put the page where the bottom of the, I guess your collar is, right at the bottom there, so I didn't have to cut that end off. You can see that I'm fitting it here, and if you look at the collar, there was 2 layers of the collar, and I wanted it to, although I want it to fit well, I didn't want much of it. I wanted as little of it overlapping as possible because I did not want the pages to get thick. I hope that makes sense. I didn't want it too deep. I thought they might get kind of mushy. Now you're going to see me fiddling around here a little bit, and what I'm trying to do is see the outside edges of the page, the wider sides. They show up quite a bit on the final product. Like on the final scene, you can see at the bottom here where they're showing up pretty good. So what I wanted to do was to kind of decide where I wanted them on the witch before I traced it out. I kind of gave her a jawline there using the paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting on the hat. And the first most important part, of course, is going to be that curl. And I'm going to place it where I want it. The chalk line's quite faint here, but there is one. I've only got a couple of pieces after this book page that I'm going to put on. If you're pretty sure of the process and want to just go play and have some fun with book pages, by all means. Here I'm just readjusting it because it didn't line up. That bottom corner did not line up with the edge of the hat properly. I jumped ahead here just a little bit to save us some time. We got both parts of the hat. We're going to do the middle now, and you're going to see me kind of just fiddle around with where that final book page goes. And I finally thought of using a small scrap with the same edging so I could see it all the way around. Used it to see what it looked like, and then put my book page on top and proceeded with putting the template on and cutting it like you can see here. When I trace this out, you're going to see down at the bottom that for whatever reason the hat didn't quite line up the way I wanted it to. So I just used the edge of the book page that was already on the wood as my guide, and I cut it there. Because that part that goes down is so strong. It really stands out. I didn't want it to cover her face too much. I didn't want it to, I wanted it to look like part of her hat. I didn't want it to be like people look at it and go, not notice that it's a witch. I just did it long, fiddled with it until I liked the way it looked. Now I'm going to quickly add some Mod Podge. And once that's on, I go ahead and I Mod Podge the top of the whole, all the book pages, making sure that I get the edges sealed. Again, being careful, I don't want it to shine on the wood backdrop. You're going to see me make a little adjustment and cut off a little bit of paper down here again, just to make, because it fit that way. I don't know if I stretched the paper or not, but I just took my scissors and snipped it so it looked the way I wanted it to. Now, if you don't want to do this in brown stain, I didn't buy any. I happen to have some on hand. You can easily use black paint, black stain. I don't know if I would use like dollar store stuff because I like doesn't cover really well, but you could use any kind of home paint that you have in the house. Chalkboard painted work, fusion paint from crafting. Orange. You could put it in orange even. I was fiddling around with the idea of doing a neutral mantle. So I stuck with the browns, and I really like the way I'm really pleased with the way that the stain showed up on the Dollar Tree or the dollar store frame. To hang this thing up, all you need to do, it's got a little ledge all around the back, and all you got to do is just pop it on the hook, or you could use it as a leaner. When I put it on my mantle, it's 16 by 20 was the largest I had at my dollar store, and when I put it on my mantle, it wasn't as large as I wanted it, but then again, my mantle is 7 feet long and really big, so what I did, oh, I'm missing this part. I took right at the end, I put a little wart on her nose, just with paper and some Mod Podge. Pushed it and let it stay there. Hope you like it.